And we are live from Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is Dr. Jeffrey Lant, where anything goes, the longest running live program anywhere on the internet for so many years. I forgot how many. There's a picture, postcard, perfect day here in Cambridge. It's fall in New England, our strongest season. The streets of my metropolis, the capital city of the internet, are decked with young people from all over North America and Europe carrying their skulls. And no, I don't mean the kind that sits on your shoulders. I mean the kind that floats down rivers. Their souls upside down through the streets of Cambridge. This is extremely picturesque and skull. It's the Charles River Regatta, the head of the Charles River. It happens once a year in Cambridge. It's a lovely sight. Next year, make sure you come. We need the money. Now, Christopher Ninnis joins me today. And he'll be saying a few comments in a moment. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Lant. For those of you that don't know me, I'm sitting in the middle of the capital city of the internet, Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is the American office of Worldprofit, www.worldprofit, WORLDPROFIT.com. We are a company that's been helping people make money on the internet now for over 20 years. We are the longest running home-based internet-related business opportunity in the world. Christopher, would you like to say a few words? Christopher addresses us from Cornwall, England, where he is one of the members of our leadership team. Christopher, say hello to the folks.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Worldprofit.
Now, our technical...
over 20 years helping people make money online.
Yeah. So it makes you feel old and decrepit. And then you go outside, you see all these perfect bodies carrying their skulls upside down through the streets, and you feel totally depressed. But tomorrow, like most of America, tomorrow, this is a week-long series of events, by the way. For those of you who do not know, most every university in the world has a sculling team. You don't know about them because they get up early in the frosty mornings when you have to be young to even contemplate doing it. So my hat's out to them all. It's always fun to see them coming through the streets of Cambridge, carrying their skulls upside down, just like the Indians. I imagine the Indians used to do that with their canoes. All right, today we have an extremely exciting program. So exciting I can barely content myself. This program is dedicated to Lant, to Bonnie Peacock, to Elizabeth Baru, and to the 100 people that are looking in the window. This is the problem that we are addressing. For over 20 years now, Worldprofit has existed to help people make money on the internet. And over the course of the last 20 years, we've given away hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of service, software, applications, and so on. Now we are prepared to advance the cause. We join the microfinance brigade today. One of the things we discover as we grow, and we are a worldwide company, hence our name, Worldprofit, is how desperately the world needs technical services and how little is available to these folks. A few years ago, I became aware of a movement called the microfinance movement. It actually garnered 2 Nobel Prizes for the people who set it up. The movement started in India. And it originally was this one gentleman who, out of his own pocket, would give money to selected enterprises in the small villages, the backwaters, the poorest areas of India, where places where poverty and disease are perhaps even worse than in Africa. And people would come to him, and he'd say, look, they wanted to have some kind of a business. Usually it was about food or clothing. Those were the 2 popular ones beginning, and housing. And he would give them grants. They were never gifts. They were always loans. And the loans were in the neighborhood of $25, $50, $100 was a big loan. And there was a condition. Use the money, come back and report progress to me or problems along the way, and repay the money. Now, if we did this in the United States, there'd be a revolution. A whole generation has taken on college scholarships and college loans and refuses to pay them back. It's not the way it is with poor, abjectly poor people. They need help. They recognized the Good Samaritan when they saw him. He laid down the law. The law said, I'm helping you, but you're going to give it back to me so that I can help someone else. A very simple, profoundly profound situation. And on this basis, he began to help hundreds of different people, all of them in India at that time. And he came to the attention of the Nobel Prize Committee, which awarded him the Nobel Peace Prize, one of the first 2 awards that they got. And I'm proud of that. I wish I had that idea, Chris. I don't know how you feel. I'm about to find out. Some good person would say, as opposed to saying $100, and so you can't do dits with $100. What a stupid idea that is. And yet he said, it is not a stupid idea. It will, for that individual, it matters all. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts about the refinance.
Yes, I think it's an incredible idea, especially for the people of India, because $25, $50, $100 is a life-changing amount of money. And while it may be nothing to us, to them it's everything.
I have a personal, and of course, like all good ideas, someone said to me, all sorts of people have picked up on this idea. You're damn right they have, because a good idea should never be kept in a box. It should be released for the benefit of humanity, particularly this one. So one of my dearest friends, Sarah Hacket, who's a nurse from Cape Ann, Massachusetts, 85 I think she is now, went down to Haiti with a few $100s, and she is a qualified trained nurse, and headed the Cambridge Visiting Nurses Association, which is how I met her many years ago. I was their fundraiser. She was the executive director. And she's always had this global vision of service. So she goes down to Haiti before the terrible earthquake, and she starts, not all at once, but bit by bit, these enterprises. First, a women's clinic, exclusively for women's problems, because in Haiti, women's problems are nobody's problem. It's just so much garbage. She said, I will set up a clinic. And we said, darling, you're 70 years old, why don't you take a rest? And she looked at me and said, you of all people shouldn't say that, me, of all people. And so she went down to Haiti, and then she started her goat meat company, because she discovered that goat meat was very flavorful and prized by restaurants in Manhattan, among other places. And the goats financed the provided profit to commence her crafts and arts and crafts business, and the development of native Haitian arts and crafts. And she did it all on little micro grants. Never too much, because she did what she could do. And so I'm dedicating today's program to my dear friend Sarah Hacket, who we all were worried, terrified that she was being swallowed up by the terrible earthquake which destroyed so much of Haiti. And she said, I'm too honored to die here. And I said, that's certainly true. She's in New England. That's exactly, we're too honored to die there. So I expect her to be 120 years old doing the God's work. Now, I wanted to think about how we could link Worldprofit to this. And this isn't just a question of in India or Haiti. People all over the world have caught on to the micro concept. And I want Worldprofit to be part of this. So today is a day of advance. It does not take us into new territory. It takes us into a new refinement. Worldprofit has been giving and giving and giving to the world community for over 20 years. Christopher, do you want to speak to that briefly? Because you have known us for a long time. And Worldprofit has given away so many pieces of software, applications, so on and so forth. Speak to that.
Yes, when I first joined in Worldprofit about 8 years ago, I was very impressed with what I got. And what I got then is just a fraction of what you get now. What you get now is absolutely unbelievable, which would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars if you had to buy each item individually. But you get everything here for nothing. And if you don't make use of it, you're wasting your money and you're wasting your time.
Now, one thing that we heard over and over again from people worldwide is, I don't have the $100 to get started. So I took that concept of advisement. I want to go back to my own personal history to show you where I'm coming from. I'm speaking to you now from the nexus, the very epicenter of 71 colleges and universities which exists within a few mile radius of where I'm talking to, starting with Harvard, which is right across the street. This is the epicenter for worldwide education and the internet. New gizmos are in the air so thick you can taste them. This place is awash with bright people and their bright ideas. So you can't be on the backwater because then you feel like an old termite. So I sit here absorbing the youth energy, learning from the young people, not disdaining them because they're unkempt, foul-mouthed, grammatically challenged. I don't care about any of those things. What I care about is their brain power and their ideas, and this place is awash. This is what we have come so far. First of all, we were wondering why some people who come into the library center are so hostile, why they have bad manners. And it wasn't because of us, it was because of them. So we found a way of solving that problem, and that's a big problem to solve. And it is based on my own personal experience with getting scholarships. From the time I was 18 to the time I was 27 years old, at the many colleges that I attended, and I attended over I think 13 colleges and have degrees from 4 of them. I went before scholarship evaluation committees, oftentimes with my parents. In those dim, distant days, parents were actually involved. They drove you, they didn't just drive you, they held your hand, they made sure you were clean and prepped up and the whole bit. They wanted you to do well because it was a big burden off their shoulders if you got a scholarship. And luckily for me, I received a major fellowship called the Woodrow Wilson Fellow, which is one of the 3 major fellowships of the United States. The Rhodes, the Marshall, named after my cousin, General Marshall, and of course the Woodrow Wilson Fellowship, named after President Wilson. The bottom line was I had to go through an elaborate series of steps. I had to prove to them that I was worthy of the money that it would take. And they invested, as it were, over $250,000 in my education. Came directly from the Woodrow Wilson Foundation. To get that kind of money is a major achievement and it involves a great deal of work. Now, we're not there yet at Worldprofit, but we are on the way to doing some remarkable things. I want us, each day now, to select 5 people, and that's where it's starting. It's not necessarily where it's ending, it's not where we're going. We don't know where it's going to go. Just as I could possibly know the goats were the answer to the Haitian economy's problem. I mean, you learn the things along the way and make good with what you know. So this is the official beginning. Some of you I've been working with over the last few days to make sure you understand the process. Where we shall look where Carl Johansson, who's joined us here, and you can see his name on the right-hand side among the people in this room, will now, if he is broke, and I know he says he's broke and his pockets are full of money that he used to buy lottery tickets and cigarettes and I mean that kind of broke. I mean if he is truly poor, if he's proved disabled, if he's bereft, he has no friends, he's in a war zone, like Liberia, my heart goes out to the Liberians. And to Ellen Shirley, who's a Harvard graduate, who was the president, the first female president of any African country, of course, is a Harvard woman. And God knows you got to wish her well. She went public the other day saying her whole country is in shambles. People are terrified. Those people still have expenses. Just because they're terrified doesn't mean their expenses stop. So I wanted to create, along with my colleagues George Kosh and Sandy Hunter, who have been nothing if not supportive, a unique environment where each day we would give 5 people a leg up on success. That we would help these people. We would ask them a simple question. Why should we invest in you? That's the question. And you'll be amazed at the answers that are coming back. People have never been asked about an internet business, why it should matter. But what we're giving is more than a micro grant, but it's not a major like the Ford Foundation grant. It is a very substantial thing. And I want to walk through what we're giving so that everybody understands what the monitors who are now, and by the way, monitors, I'm giving you a new title, you are now on the scholarship committee. You are going to determine who from your shifts gets the goodies. If there's nobody who's worthy of a scholarship, so be it. There's no law that says every hour of the day has to produce. But on the other hand, if you sense that a person is doing the right thing, they're truly valuable, and investing in them would be a benefit, then not within your capacity to say, hey, very well, I'm bestowing a scholarship package. Let's be very clear what that package is consisting of. I will ask Christopher Ninnis to read the first part of this scholarship package, and then I shall add the other parts. Monitors, write this down, and more importantly, absorb the ethos of what we're saying. You have it within your power now to advance people from all over this world, just as Sarah Hacket advanced her Haitian ladies with her enterprises. Chris, why don't you read us those first parts of the scholarship proposal?
Where do I find that? I don't know.
Yes, you do. Send D2, send D3, send D4, send D5.
Oh,
okay, at your age, Alzheimer's moment every now and again is not only would be odd if it didn't occur.
Finished our silver membership presentation video. Well, that's great. And you already know the awesome offer that we've got for you if you order in the next 10 minutes. You get the $1,500 bonus offer made in the video. Plus, you can e-blast any website or offer to 90,000 of our subscribers every month. Get over 500 landing pages and over 1,500 real traffic sources. Also, our monitors will start closing sales for you today without ever charging you anything. Finally, your commission earnings are from 20 to 100%. That is important. Place your order within 5 minutes, and we'll place 50 members under you immediately. These are free members, just like you. When you upgrade to our silver membership, you get these 50 people placed directly under you. Sign them up into your program, or if you upgrade here, you can get the commission. Click on the red Order Now button to get started placing your order now. No contract, no obligation. All services are backed by Worldprofit's ironclad guarantee of support and service. But there's still more. If you upgrade to a silver membership now, you also get over 500 land pages, over 1,500 real traffic sources, sales closing 24 hours a day, over 100 training rooms, 50 members plugged to you now, email blast to 90,000 a month, over 100,000 ad credits per month, 3 Facebook marketing courses on how to generate thousands of leads using Facebook marketing tactics. And remember, you can use these resources to generate leads and traffic for any business. Upgrade to silver membership now and you can be on your way to earning consistent income now. Your package includes traffic, leads, trusted advertising sources, a comprehensive online training program, plus sales closing assistance 24 hours a day. No other company offers you this. Worldprofit's ironclad backing is based on our 20 years in business. Upgrade to silver membership now to receive the bonus offer with all privileges and exclusive freebies.
Now I shall pick up the ball at this point. That is the foundation, but it is only the foundation. The next thing we shall do is give each candidate 100 customers from my personal list. Those customers will be transferred to the candidate immediately. They will receive an email from the company announcing the transfer and who their sponsor is. When those people buy, the candidate gets the money. Another micro grant. The next thing, they will get a free copy of my book, Net Profits, and access to all my articles on making money on the internet. A $30 value is the book, available at Amazon.com for payment. We give to you. And next, and here we get into the realm of the supremely celestial. The next gift, or the next advance, is that Worldprofit will pay for the second month of the candidate's internet services. When they pay $99.95, they'll get 90 days, 60 days, 2 months. The second month is free, paid for by Worldprofit. And that is a big deal. Again, it is a micro grant. or month services, but it's reality. And finally, they will be assured that they will receive for free all of George Koch's numerous future inventions. Now, let me tell you about this one. This is dynamite. I thought to myself, how can I possibly apply a dollar figure to George's work? It's almost impossible. So let's leave it like this. All of you who benefit from his work, excuse me, and that's every single one of you who exists in this room, including myself, well, what is it worth to you to have some of his inventions? Thousands? Hundreds of thousands? It's at the very least a considerable amount. We'll guarantee that Bonnie Peacock will receive this as part of the scholarship package. And George keeps us on the money. George keeps us on the money. You know that and I know that. Now this is, I want to make very clear, this package is not set in cement. It will alter. It may go up, it may go down depending on events. For now, we're going to empower 5 people a day. Now, how many people that are in here who are monitors, like Anthony Slate, who you got to see something before, and Christopher Dennis and Gary Smith, and Linda Elsie and Johan Williams and Lance and Michael and Patrice and Robert and all the rest of you, how many of you think it would be a piece of cake to tell people what they're going to get? I think it is the breakthrough in terms of simply saying, look, people, here it is. Take it or leave it. You know, and having been through the scholarship process, I'm going to refer you to the old Scottish proverb, because Scots are near with a penny. Near with a penny means we know how much copper is in every one of the passes our fingertips. The man who pays the piper calls the tune. We are going to save 5 people a day, and I'm going to refer you to the famous JFK anecdote. One day on Cape Cod, the president was walking with one of his aides. There had been an influx of starfish that washed upon the beach. And every once in a while, JFK would reach down and throw one into the great Atlantic. And his friend was exasperated. "What's the point?" he said. "What's the point?" And the president said, "Maybe nothing to you, but absolutely everything to that starfish." So, I'm going to call this the Starfish Project. It may mean nothing to you. It may mean nothing to your next-door neighbor, but it matters absolutely to the 5 people a day that we assist. Does everyone understand that? And can you communicate that? Chris, I want your thoughts on this.
Yes, I think it's a fantastic idea, and if you can help someone do something to get out of the rut they're in, that's absolutely incredible, and I'm all for it.
Now, should some person come in here whose antics are distasteful to us, and we all know what that is all about. We've all seen the people who are the know-it-alls, the won't listens, the can't do's, the excuse makers. Simply say, you're not on my Christmas card list, and you're not on my scholarship list. And that's an end of it. I don't expect everyone in the world to see the benefit of this, although it seems so obvious to us. But I expect them I do not want them interfering with our business anyway. Does everybody understand? If you simply tell them to calm down, settle down, they might actually listen. I have, over the course of the last several days, turned around several people who barked at me, were rude, in their internet fashion. Just because other companies tolerate it doesn't mean that we will tolerate it. Now, what I want to do here at this point, I want to invite Anthony Slate to come up, and then Christopher will be following Anthony Slate. But Chris, I want you to make way for Anthony. Anthony, come up. I want to introduce you to Anthony Slate, just in case somebody in this room doesn't know him. It seems improbable given his many hours at the helm. No other company on earth has an Anthony Slate. No other company in the world transfers to him all the technology necessary to talk to the world. And Anthony talked to the world the other day as we were fleshing out the internal constituents of the scholarship fund. And in the course of an evening's work, he closed 5 people. He saved 5 starfish. Got them started. They needed the help. He provided it with our assistance. Now, I've asked him to join me today, and for his first appearance on In Goes. and I believe his first appearance on one of our Anything Goes recorded programs, to tell us what he did and what it matters and how he felt. So, Anthony, it's a heavy load. You know you're up to it. This is Anthony Slate, Senior Monitor for Worldprofit. Your thoughts?
What I did is what Worldprofit is already providing. They 5 people that I gave the scholarship to, they came into the room. I spoke to them. They went into the video. They saw the value, which they should have. Read the offer to them, and then rated, because they know that they can't do it alone, and we're trying to help them get out of their rut. And pretty much it made me feel good helping people, and now they're going to be much better off with profit. And if they follow the steps, they won't have to come out of pocket again, which should be a no-brainer to me. They got until December to come up with the funds. If they follow the steps of the boot camp and they promote their business, there should be no excuse why they can't come up with the funds before the next payment is due. So I think this is a great thing to have, the scholarship, for people that are in ruts, and maybe they'll finally see that we are trying to help, even though we've been trying to help for years, over 21 years now. Now there's really no excuse not to join us with a free month.
True. So let's have him stay up here for a bit. First of all, I want everyone to give Anthony Slate a round of applause. And by the way, I'm hearing a foghorn out in the street in Harvard Square. That's another Sculler's device. So if you hear the foghorn coming, that's because the Scullers are out and about the common today with their skulls. Now, Anthony Slate has set the pace for all of you. And I challenge you to nip him in the heels as he goes romping through the pastures here. Because he's shown not only that it's possible to save one starfish, but to save a half a dozen or more of them, all in a day, all in a day's work. Let me tell you where I'm coming from on this, and we wanted to welcome Jerry Mitchell to the program. Jerry, sit back and relax and listen. Jerry Mitchell is precisely the person from the scholarship program was advanced. He's been here 7 times and taken no action. He doesn't get it, and now we're making it very obvious what he must do to get the scholarship program. And he has disappeared, which is very common when you call him on it. So, Anthony, your public is responding. These are your challengers, your colleagues, your friends, your fellow monitors. They all want to be where you are today. Would you give them a piece of advice?
Keep trying, because I'm going to always... My goal is to always be at the top. But I appreciate you all very much. This is a family.
I want to say something to those of you who find the CEO intrusive. I am intrusive. That's my goal. To sit and be intrusive. Help you all. This is my goal for each of you. I want you to call me day and night saying, I've just sold 5 packages. Dr. Lant, can you authorize another one? I've got another starfish to rescue here. If you wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning to save a starfish, I'm going to say, God damn, you're good. I'll authorize that package. Whenever possible, I will authorize as many as necessary. How many of you understand that the game now is to interfere with my infrequent sleeping hours? Call me when you've got a person. Now, we do have a counter at the top of the page that shows you how many packages are left for the day. It's your job, should each and every one of you to challenge me to come up with more packages. It should never be to sell packages. We don't sell packages. We make them available to worthy candidates. Does everybody understand this? Now, apropos the same thing, there's another thing that has to happen. I want to speak to all Worldprofit members around the world, to the people that will become members. If you ever see Anthony Slate sitting up here twiddling his thumbs, if you ever see Dr. Lant up here twiddling his thumbs, if you ever see Sharon Schutz up here, or Sharon Somerville, then you're failing in your obligations to them. This place should crawling with people 24/7, 365. Every monitor should be complaining to me about how work they are. They're saying, oh my God, I work so hard. To save the world, you have to work hard. How are we going to pack this place? Promote, promote, promote. And how are we going to do that? We're going to follow George Koch's instructions. So Anthony, do you want to say something about that? Because I know it pains you when you got up here and you set aside some time from your limited schedule. Not closing a deal that moment, and there's no one to close the deal. It irks you, doesn't it? It irks the hell out of me.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, heck yeah. And I'm always looking to close deals 24/7 when I'm up here all the time, and ABC all the time. I mean, I want somebody to be in here. I want this room to be packed. I want to close all of you that come in here. That's my only goal. ABC, to close sales for you, so we're making for the members.
So one, I want you all to take a pledge. I was sitting up here last night at about midnight instructing them the nighttime monitors on this new policy. And use it to the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Emperor, used to go out to all the outposts of the Roman Empire to visit the commanders, find out what was on their minds, and follow the advice of Marcus Aurelius. I talk to the people, the monitors, they're up. They tell me what is on their mind. I tell them what's on my mind. It's a good system. Last night, and I was offended how few people were in the live business center in the evening. Friends, the easiest time of the day to promote is the evening. You know why? Because most of the rest of the world is asleep on a Friday evening at 12 midnight Eastern Time. You have the deck to yourself. You have the stage. You have the cinema. You have the whole ball of wax. Don't just promote in the morning. There's the whole rest of the day to consider. I used to do a lot of promotion. Some of you know that I used to do a lot of radio, and I had a nationally syndicated radio show on the Business Radio Network. Our best hours between midnight and 4 o'clock in the morning. You know why? Well, maybe it's the insomniac problem. Maybe it's whatever the reason is. We did our best business in the middle of the night. How many of you ignore the night? Stop ignoring the night. Anthony, do you want to speak to this? It pains me to see everything like it's in a museum. Nothing's going on. There's no people in here because the promotions have stopped. Don't stop. Comment?
Promoting 24/7. If you're not sleeping, you should be promoting. Because if you want to make money, you got to constantly do it. And we want to be packed in here, closing sales. So it should be a dead time to promote. You should promote all the time.
If you come in here like I did last night, and you see everything pristine and all set up perfect, ready to go, and there's no anywhere to go back and promote. Tell me. I'll send out another announcement. I want to see our traffic, our tools, George Koch's marvelous applications, all overutilized. Make that your problem to him. He's got a capacious mind. He'll solve it. But you've given him no problem solved. Anyone add to that? Sharon Somerville says, I always promote before I go to bed. Exactly so. A, B, C, always be closing. Now I want to say something else. A lot of you people believe in giving and giving to some unworthy soul. Get over it. Scholarships and the 71 colleges and universities. Remember, not only did I go to 12 or 13 universities myself, not only did I get 4 college degrees, but I live in the midst of the Mecca Center for Education in the world. The colleges and universities impose conditions on their scholarship recipients. Obvious first condition is that you go to college. You don't just take the money and go up to Europe. Obvious second thing, whatever the conditions of the grant are. We have conditions too. One of the conditions is that they be polite, courteous, easy to work with. If the people will not work with you, get rid of them. You're under no obligation to help people who will not help you. You are in the lucky position of being able to give, but not take. You don't need to take it from anyone. If I see you running over backwards to try to accommodate some brigand, I won't allow it. And you won't like what I say either. You'll say I'm not politically correct. In case you just figured that out, I've never been politically correct. Anthony, further comments?
So what you're saying is, if they're not, to go bend over backwards like I know I do, and I'm going to stop doing that. It's going to be hard for me because I'm stubborn, but I'm going to just, if they don't want to be helped and you try them, you only can do your end. If they don't want to do their part, then send them to the free program and just wish them luck because they're going to need it, pretty much.
I have never turned down any of the numerous scholarships that I received in my life. Whatever the conditions were, whatever the difficulty of reaching the conditions, I never turned one down, and I will never will. Neither should these people. When you ask them if they are sure that they want a net business, and they say yes, and then minutes later they say, oh, I can't invest, then they don't want a net business. They want a gift. We are not in the gifting business. Neither are the microfinancing people of India. They didn't give the money. They lent the money to the poorest and least acceptable risk on earth. Can you imagine a bank of any size or merit saying to these people of incredible poverty, lend you money? I'll be damned first, I'd say. But the people in the microfinancing world proved to be the best possible risk. They knew that their life depended on success. And so do the people that come to us. Do we any of us believe that the people who come to us who do not take the scholarship will succeed? Is there anyone in this room who believes that without the applications that George Koch spent so many years inventing and Sandy Hunter worked so hard to administer, that I get my fingers involved with in numerous ways? Is there anybody who thinks they'd be better off without these things? They're crazy. And I want you to talk to these people, tell them the truth, and if they don't cooperate, let them go. Now, let's set a challenge, shall we? How many of you take this opportunity to challenge Anthony Slate? Because he's the acknowledged leader now. Bring it on! Those are the famous words of President George Bush 41, aren't they? Bring it on! Anybody going to challenge Mr. Slate? I would if I were you. Because he'll leave you in the dust. The one thing a teacher like me wants is for the student to be superior to the teacher. No matter how superior I may be, my cherished goal for my administration is to make sure that he's better than I am. And therefore better than you are at the moment. Don't have that. Don't let him get, you know how it is. I believe in your own press releases, you can't put your head in the hat anymore. We're going to bring in a minute. Do I don't want to add anything further to this? I'm on a roll, as you can see.
I'm going to say bring the challenge, and bring the challenge. I'm ready to take on any person who wants to try to top me.
Now, does anyone want to post any questions for Anthony before he goes down? We're going to continue, of course, to the conclusion. And Sharon Somerville says, I plan to be where Linda is one of those. Linda's not your role model on this one. Anthony Slate is your role model. Now, we love Linda, know how good she is, but it's a good thing that there are other people doing good things like Anthony. So, my advice to you is, look at that boy, look at that wide open adolescent face. That's your competition. Anybody else want to comment? I'm terribly excited. But I want to say something that comes out of the Liberian situation. Ellen Shirley, the president of Liberia, is a Harvard graduate. About 3 years ago, she came to Cambridge to pick up an honorary degree on her way to getting a Nobel Prize. She is the first woman chief executive officer of any African country. The country of Liberia, which was once upon a time the shining jewel of democratic Africa, was started by President Monroe in the 19th century. And they created, they transported black slaves from southern plantations to Africa to create a country called Liberia, from the Latin root for free. Capital city, Monrovia, President Monroe. For over 150 years, it was the jewel of Africa. And now it's the basket case. My thoughts go out to Ellen Shirley, who's doing so valiantly, such great odds against her. She went public 3 days ago and said the whole country has ceased to exist. No one's working. Everyone's terrified. If you are in such an environment, whether it be in Liberia or elsewhere, you come to me. we'll make sure that you get a package one way or another. I do not propose to solve every problem in the world, but I propose that the problems I propose to undertake will be solved with your help. Will you all join me? And when people come from Liberia or the equivalent, Niger, the Cameroons, the Congo, I aim to help those people in the same way the microfinance people help the poorest of the poor in India. And of course, my dear friend Sarah Hacket in Haiti. Comments, Anthony, on that? We will do what we can do, and we will do it extremely well, as we have always done.
It can help those who want to be helped, pretty much. And if they don't want to be helped, then send them on their merry way. And next, there's always going to be the next serious person that we can find.
Imagine this. The first day we'll help 5 people, and you'll say, oh, that's not very much. You do that constantly, it begins to be very impressive to the world. Let the world take heed from us, as I have taken heed from them. It is my privilege at Worldprofit to try new things. And I have the most admirable of colleagues, George Kosh, anyhow, who let me do it. Now, you all know I'm can be exasperating as all get out. I doubt that there's a person in this room that I haven't exasperated, and very well too. When the chips are down, I support all of you who build this company and this community worldwide. We can be proud of ourselves. Today, we're already well on our way to helping those 5 additional people. And again, remember my goal. My goal is to pack this place day and night with people who say they're interested in internet services. We shall see about that. My goal is to make sure that you are calling me and saying, the packages are gone. The packages for the day are gone. And I say, yes, so? Well, we want you to give some more. Well, maybe I will. Challenge me. I like a good challenge. The only way to stay young as one ages is to accept challenges that only the young will be foolish enough to take. I take that challenge right here, right now, with great pleasure. Anthony, last thoughts before we bring Christopher back?
Thank you for having me on the program, and thank you for all the support that I have from the community. I do appreciate that. And promote. Always be closing, and come on, guys. I see you sitting out to come in and talk to us.
And we're going to bring Christopher Williams back. Christopher Ninnis back. What do you think about this?
Yes.
What you've heard so far, sir?
I think it's absolutely excellent. But what does disappoint me since I came back as a monitor is when I started monitoring first, and it was just you and I, we used to have 150, 200, 300 people in my business center, and you didn't have time for a coffee, you didn't have time to catch your breath. But now they're very few and far between. And ones who are promoting, you see them on the sponsor list, it's always the same names who are doing the promoting and getting people in. So why are people not following the instructions and doing what they're supposed to be doing?
I'll answer that. When you go on a date the first time, the first kiss is enthralling, thrilling. The 100th kiss may not be as thrilling and enthralling. When a thing is a new thing, everybody says, oh, it's a new thing and it's a grand thing because it's a new thing. The most difficult time of all in a business relationship is when it's an old thing, an established thing, an old hat kind of thing, just like a long-established marriage. Oh, yeah, you're my wife, you're my husband, but frankly, you're boring me witless. Let's not be bored. Let's take my challenge to go forth to the world and to save 5 people's lives a day. Doesn't solve all the problems of the world, but it surely helps the world. It's essential those that we do help. I take your point, Chris. And the problem is that you can't be the new lover every day of the week. And it can be boring. You can say, oh, it was here yesterday, it'll be here tomorrow. That's not true. You can't surmise that. You can only speculate. We don't know. Loretta LaRouche, one of my students who became a very successful author, said, "The past is prologue. She said, the present is a gift. The future is unknown." So, if you have not promoted, you're part of the problem. You say you want to help people, but you don't. If you're not promoting, it doesn't work. How many of you can pull up your socks and do better at the promotional game? I was appalled sitting here last night. Everything all laid out, shining order. No people. Except monitors waiting to help. That's a problem of the membership not promoting. And I want you all to hammer every single person that comes into the Line Business Letter and say, have you done your promotions? Oh, yes, 3 days ago I did. Oh, yes, a week ago I did. Oh, yes, a month ago I meant to. That's not business. That's suicide. You want to speak to this further?
No, not really. I think you put it very well. But if you don't promote, you don't earn. So, and if we don't have any people coming in here, we can't close. So it's your loss, not ours.
Let me say something. I am an old artifact of the net. You're looking at a dinosaur. George is older than I am. Sandy's an older dinosaur, but not by a lot. We were amongst the first people to start this company, to build on the internet. In those days, upwards of 80% of email was treated as an actual letter and answered. People answered upwards of 80% of the time. Why don't they do that now? Because it's old hat. So what was a famous technology is now useless. So much spam, so much virulent mail. What constitutes freshness is always a marketing problem. Marketers create the concept of freshness and market it. But every fresh thing in the world becomes yesterday's old hat. And that's just the way that it is. I have been fortunate, and George, Sandy, and myself, to maintain something of the original thrill. It was Janis Joplin who said, he talked about life, liberty, and happiness, and she said, the thrill is, you have to stay alive long after the thrill of living is gone. I got to bring back the thrill. I think it's extremely thrilling to save people's lives. I think it's tippity-doo to sit here in Cambridge and to help a person in Liberia, for example. And that's our unique contributing factor to our success. But don't say, oh, Worldprofit yesterday, so they're sure to be here today, so they'll be sure to... Oh, no. Human affairs don't work that way. Take a look at the Caesars. They all thought they were terminal. Think about Hitler, the 1,000-year reign. Every human institution has come, grown, flourished to the extent it was going to flourish, and many times and most times died. We have to refrain from incautious optimism and squeeze the thrill out of everything that we do, because it is thrilling. It will never lose its thrill. Now, Christopher, we are coming to the last part of our program. Is there anything particular you want to say to Laurent, for example, or to the 84 people that are in the room right now who need the service, or to your fellow monitors?
Laurent only speaks Dutch, so that's not very helpful. But just on the point of promoting, is that we had a long chat this morning with Paolo Palotti, and he seems to get the system quite well. And his name is coming up on the sponsor list, and he's only been with us 10 hours, so he's obviously following instructions. That's someone who's here 10 hours. And if he can do it, we can all do it. So
I want to say a word about Christopher Ninnis, who was indeed present at the creation. He's one of the founding fathers of this whole enterprise. I understand why 300 to 500 people per day would come in at any given time. It was different. It was new. It was the cat's meow for everybody in the baby boom generation. We loved it. It meant we could sit at home in our undies, make money all over the world. Oh, that was a thrilling concept, all right, and we loved it. But always the concepts age. The only way we're going to go back to those numbers, and those numbers are not unique. They could easily be succeeded. It's for each and every one of you to do what we tell you to do. Nothing new, nothing different, nothing exciting, just promote. How many of you will join me till we bring up the traffic in this room to 250, 350, 500 at a time, and we drive Ninnis crazy? That'll be my personal goal. I want to see the old man choke. Will you join me?
I would enjoy that because it gives you the challenge, and you can sort the wheat from the chaff.
Again, let's be clear that the objectives are doable. I've asked you to do nothing, and I'll be with you right along. I have a long vested interest in this company, as does George and Sandy. We want this to succeed way beyond our natural terms. We can only do it if everything is institutionalized. It can't be personal. Businesses that rely on the personal factor, businesses that go down when the personal factor is no longer there. But we want to succeed beyond that. And I want to see more. I want to see each and every one of you monitors recruiting for the video program, video training program, because it's obvious that video training is the key to the whole proposition. And if people don't have video training, they're not going to do it. They're not going to make it. And I want you to lay it on the line for people like Laurent, the ones that speak English, that his way is a proven failure way. Our way works. But if he refuses to take the advice, let him go. Let him go. Without to do. Never let him see a sweat, they say in that perspiration commercial. So, I'm going to bring up the famous Patrice Porter from Saskatchewan. Come up and give us your impression of what you've heard. This is one of the most important Anything Goes programs I've ever done, and I'm thrilled to be able to do it. And Patrice Porter has put her particulars on the screen. Please copy them off or print off the page. And here she comes.
Good day, Dr. Lant and everyone, and I'll keep it short because it's so everybody can hear good. But I love this program, and when you did the other program before offering the scholarships, and I have used that program, the replay of it, speaking with some people on fixed incomes, baby boomers that want to supplement their income, and they were waiting till their pension comes in, and I was very happy to be able to present this to them, and I think it's a wonderful program, and it'll be up on the YouTube channel, Patrice Porter, and it'll also be up on the Worldprofit Tube. It'll be later today at www.worldprofittube.com, and this is wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to helping the people and using this generous offer that you've given us. So thank you very much, and I'll say my adieus till later.
No, dude. You always try to escape. No, listen to me. I have a question for you. We're not selling packages. We are analyzing candidates.
Yes.
In other words, you are a member of the scholarship committee, because I've dubbed you a member of the committee. You are going to determine during your shifts on the screen who deserves the investment.
Yeah, and that it became very clear when I watched you in the other program the other day, and the how it really sorts out the people, and I can look at it when the people that I've called and talked to that saying, oh yeah, they're going to join, and they aren't, and the ones that are taking action, even though they don't have the funds right now, but they're working towards it, and it's just lovely to be able to have this to present to them, and it's great.
Let me say this before you go down. When I started my career in the scholarship business, I was paid 18 and then I was raised to 24 cents an hour.
Yeah,
my job was washing floors as part of what we call the slobs. The slobs was the name of the students who were selected to be on cafeteria crew. You might think that was a lowly job, but it was the brightest students of the class who enjoyed the opportunity to be slobs and the camaraderie. I never saw the 18 cents an hour or the 24 cents an hour. I went directly to the college for my scholarship fund. So right from the get-go, I was asked to perform to get the scholarship. We are not asking these people for anything other than standard procedure at every college and university in the world. There are two kinds of scholarships based on merit, number one, on number two. Whatever the reason choose, we expect things in return. We expect these people to report to us. We expect them to do well. We expect them to follow directions. We expect them to respect us and our resources. And those who cannot do that, they need to go elsewhere.
Yeah, they're serious, and they want the opportunity to be able to work and build a online business to better their financial situations wherever they may be. And again, it's wonderful, and thank you very much once more for the opportunity. And I'm going to step down and let Christopher come back up, and we'll see you later today.
Now, before Christopher Ninnis is back to finish off our end of the program, but before he does, I want to comment. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Is there anyone in this room who does not understand what we were saying, who does not understand that we are the selection agent? These people are not selecting us. We are selecting them. And I'm going to remind you again, the man who pays the piper calls the tune. And if there's one thing we Scots know, it's the caliber of a penny. Christopher, your final thoughts for today?
Yes, on another thought on promotion. I'm as guilty as anyone else. I'm going to say I've got 400 hits coming.
The frame, people. I want this freeze frozen.
That'll do for today, 4,000. But no, let's see if we can do another 4,000. And use your ad tracker. If the leads you're sending out aren't showing on your ad tracker, forget them. Try something else. Try something that works. Because I do that. If they don't show up on my ad tracker, I don't use them.
Let me say something criminalize myself, so to speak. I'm as guilty as anyone else. The human animal is a slothful animal. We all like to be lazy. I love being lazy. I am a wealthy man. God knows I could be as lazy as the get-go. We have to reinvent ourselves every so often. It's too easy to simply follow the paths that would once worked that don't work anymore. But you know what? The process of reinventing oneself, while it is a troublesome and irksome process from time to time, is also very healthy intellectually. To use the brain to redefine what makes the drive in the future worth having is our ability to reinvent ourselves. And we are reinventing. We are saying that Ed Shortcliffe is not alone. We are saying that Sarah Hacket is not alone. We are saying that the people in those Indian villages of such incredible poverty we can't even imagine them are not alone. We will do our bit, and the world will be better. If that doesn't cheer you up, by God, no blood in your veins. And I'm glad to have that sentiment here on the screen. Christopher, your last thought, should there be any?
Oh, I'll leave it at that.
And that, friends, is the voice of Cornwall, the sage of Cornwall. That's a marvelous end for him. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. This has been Dr. Jeffrey Lant from the midst of the sculling capital of the world, Cambridge, Massachusetts, the head of the Charles races. Lovely day in New England. It is my thrill as an administrator. It's so easy to be 68 years old, which I'm about to be, and give up and say, I'm tired of working, tired of bothering. That's the sign of old age, not that gray hair falling out, but the congealing of the brain. That's the case. I want to thank Anthony Slate, who's done the most difficult thing that a human being can do. He's grown. The word education stands for taking out, eductio, not thrusting in as you think, stuffing it. It's eductio, what comes out. It's come out of Anthony's leadership, which you might not have seen right away. He is loyal. He does the necessary. He has his minutes. God knows, don't we all? I've had my minutes with him. God knows I've had it with all of you. The bottom line is that he's grown, and we congratulate him for the most important thing of all, that he grew. Now we're going to go back to our regular scheduled program. We're here every single day at 1 p.m. I want to see those 5 packages go within the next hour or so. They should be reasonably easy to do, and this is only a fraction of our colleagues. We have to continue to instruct them. And by the way, people, please, if for no other reason to satisfy me, read your emails every once in a while from the company. I know it's a drag, but you don't know what's in them. And it does for me that I should be writing memos that you don't read. I feel like plastering them on your forehead. This has been Dr. Jeffrey Lant, signing off today in our incredible new modality of saving people's lives by providing economic wherewithal worldwide. And again, Sarah Hacket, should you read this or listen to this program, we love you. Don't take any wooden nickels. I shall go down.
Bradley, welcome to